Hello again, it's Noob, and yes, today we get to look at some more stuff from Sparrows lockpicks. Full disclosure, this was sent to me by Sparrows lockpicks for the purpose of this review. I get to keep these items. I'm not paid to do this review, all thoughts are my own as always, and yes, I've also worked with Sparrows in the past to bring some designs to market. So, those disclosures out of the way, let's carry on. What do we have here? Well, first up we have a lock which is being sold on the Sparrows website. It's called Flynn's lock. It's a little slider wafer lock. This keyway, by the way, I've practiced picking on it, so I've scratched it up by some heavy tension. It's not what you'd expect, or not how it would come in the post. Just thought I'd tell you. But yeah, you get this lock. You can see these little teeth down there, can't you? Those little teeth are attached to wafers. Those wafers are currently pushed into the side of the lock body between the core and the body. So you need to push these sliders in from the sides, from two sides, just like the key does. The key goes in and it would slide those wafer tips or sliders into the center of the lock, and if they're in the correct position, then the lock would open. I will pick this right at the end of the video to show that it can be done using these tools. What are these tools? Well, these are slider picks. These slider picks, I have seen similar before, but this is the first time Sparrows have brought these slider picks out. And you can see that we have two different types. Here we have a finger pick style one and a full handle style one, and these are designed to pick I don't know whether I can show you properly down here, but pick these sliders. So you can see I'm turning this in. It's a bit hard because the focus will change, but you're going in, you're turning these sliders. This isn't the only slider lock out there. There are lots of slider locks, for example things like your Yale Platinums and things like that, and you can normally tell they've got sliders because of this cut track on the key as well. So up inside the keyway will be a set of pins and a set of sliders. They can be hard to see, but again, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going in with a tool like this, and you're going to need to be picking those sliders one by one. There's plenty of slider locks out there, so many. So these tools can be super useful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to use these picks by picking a pin and slider lock until it rests onto only its sliders, and then we'll pick the sliders using these tools. So this lock looks like it's picked, but it's resting on the sliders. Now we have two picks, this with a slightly wider shank, and this can just be used, well, two ways. One which is to single slider pick. So I'm just going to insert this, find the sliders and move them slightly over bit by bit to the right, just sliding them across, and that works quite nicely. What we can do though is we can also use this little finger pick style one, a lot lower shank height, so when the tips of the sliders are inside the lock a bit further down, what you can do is you can use this to make sure you don't foul those sliders as you twist it. It's quite useful to have a smaller sort of lower shank one. But here's the thing, in some locks like this you can actually use these upside down. Just put it down one side of the sliders like that, and then gently give it a jiggle, and if it's got the right sort of tolerances in the lock, you can actually just jiggle those sliders open as well. So you've got that choice between single slider picking and jiggling with two different shank heights as well. Very useful. So there you go, very usable, very versatile picks. It's really nice to have two with different shank heights. It's just nice to have a couple in a single set. These can go into your standard pick set or even a backup pick set, and be very useful when you come across those slider dimple locks in particular, or indeed these little arcade style slider locks that you see here. I haven't forgotten, we will pick this at the end of the video. It's just a relatively tricky little lock, so it does take a little while, so only watch if you are interested in watching this being picked. So what does all this set you back? Well, the slider picks come as a pair, and these are $8.95 at the time of this review. Clearly this will change depending on when you watch the review, exchange rates at the time, those kind of things. And the Flynn's lock is currently, I believe, at $9.50 and is a very tricky little lock. It's like a slider wafer lock. It's a good bit of fun and certainly worth checking out if you fancy a bit of a challenge or to go along with your slider picks. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on with the picking of this lock. So we're in the vise. I've left the picking towards the end of the video just so you can see how it all works. The lock turns clockwise and anti-clockwise by 90 degrees. So that means we can put in a turning tool straight down the center. And then I've got my pick. I'm going to gently push this down one side and then take it out and then do the same this side, and then we can go down the back, increase the tension and see what we can find that's binding. A little click on 4 there. Can't get my way past 2, so let's just try 2 and pin 1. Sorry, we'll wait for 1 note, nothing there. Okay, what about the other side? A little movement on 1, 2. Nice click on 3 and nothing. Okay, back to this side. So trying 4 feels good, 2 feels good, 3 feels good. Okay, about 1, a little movement. All right, so back through here, nothing on 4, a little click on 3, nothing on 2 and nothing on 1. Okay, so this can hang up a bit, so what I like to do is give it a little rake like this and a bounce, and some of those pins which are maybe overset, will come back into play. So it's a case of just going back through gently and making sure that we are setting all the pins correctly. Back through, okay. And if it feels like we're not, we can go back through on both sides and just double check everything is nicely picked. Should feel solid when it's picked. And it can hang up, so you might have to sort of pulse it and increase the tension a little bit if it does. So okay, so I'm feeling quite good about this one now. Feels like everything's sort of coming together. Just checking this side again. 4, 3, 2 on the left. Come on, get onto 2. 2, good, and 1 feels good. Back this side. Lovely little core movement there on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if it feels like it's open but not open, there we go. We just pulse it until it gets that open like that. It can hang up, but yeah, that's quite a successful little open. Did take a while, but we got there in the end. So there you go. I really hope you liked that review and some of the lock picking that I've demonstrated. If you did, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, now's a great time to do so. If you have any comments about these picks, do you pick a lot of slider dimple locks? Would you be interested in these picks in your kit? Let me know in the comments. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. And of course, I will see you all next time.